When I was 14, I accidentally tipped a pizza delivery guy $40. Instead of giving it back, he lied about it, insulted me, threatened me, and then refused to leave my porch. This somehow ended with him running away because I pulled an emergency alarm and started yelling, "Stranger danger." And no, I'm not exaggerating. So this happened when I was about 14, and I'll be honest, I was way more of a little shit back then than I am now. Not in a criminal way or anything, but I definitely had more attitude, less patience, and absolutely no ability to let things slide. Now I'm pretty calm. Back then, everything felt personal. This was also during a week where my mom was gone. I wasn't completely alone, I was staying with my brother, but for the most part, I was doing my own thing. My mom left me around $200 for the week for food and whatever I needed, and anything left over I was supposed to give back. That part matters. One night I'm home, bored and hungry, and I decide to order pizza. Simple enough. I didn't go crazy, just a large pizza and a drink. Now, one thing about me, even as a kid, is I always tipped delivery drivers well. I just felt like that's how they made their money, and it felt wrong not to. So the guy shows up, hands me the pizza box, and immediately something feels off. The smell coming out of that box was insane, just straight garlic. Like someone dumped garlic oil everywhere and said, "Yeah, that's acceptable, but I don't think too much of it yet." I hand him the cash, and here's where I mess up. I don't look at what I'm giving him. I thought I was handing him a 5 and 2 singles. Anormal type. What I actually gave him was a 5 and 2 20s. I didn't notice, and he definitely didn't say anything. He just looks at me and goes, "Yo, thanks for the tip," gets back in his car and drives off. Looking back, what makes this whole thing even funnier is how normal the night started. There was nothing weird in the air, no sense that this was about to turn into a story I'd still be telling years later. I was just a bored teenager killing time, pacing around the house, waiting for food like it was the highlight of my existence. That's how uneventful things were. When the doorbell rang, I didn't even think twice. I grabbed the cash, opened the door, and went through the most routine interaction imaginable. No argument, no guardianes, no warning signs. If anything, the guy seemed completely neutral. Not nice, not rude, just there. The only thing that stood out was how fast he wanted to leave. He didn't double-check the order, didn't say much, and barely made eye contact. At the time, I chalked it up to him being tired or having a long shift. Now, I'm pretty sure he just didn't want to give me enough time to realize something was off. But again, that's hindsight talking. In a moment, all I cared about was getting inside and eating. I didn't inspect the box, didn't question the smell, and definitely didn't check the money I handed him. I just assumed everything was fine because most of the time, it is. That's kind of the dangerous part about situations like this. They don't announce themselves. Nothing tells you, "Hey, pay attention, something weird is happening." It just feels normal until it suddenly isn't. And when you're young, you rely on that sense of normalcy a lot. You assume adults are doing their jobs correctly. You assume people won't lie over something small. You assume that if a mistake happens, it'll be fixed without turning into a confrontation. That night was one of the first times those assumptions got challenged. Not in some dramatic, life-changing way, but enough to stick. Enough to make me realize that even the most boring, everyday moments can flip on you without warning. I walk inside, put the pizza box on the table, open it up, and I'm not joking when I say this. Inside a large pizza box were 2 breadsticks. Just sitting there. No pizza. No slices. Just 2 sad little breadsticks, absolutely soaked in garlic. I legit thought I was being pranked. I checked the receipt again. Large pizza. Definitely not breadsticks. So I call the pizza place and explain what happened. The guy on the phone immediately sounds annoyed and tells me that's impossible. Like I somehow imagined it. I explain it again, and he basically says nobody would ever do that. I'm like, unless reality broke, someone clearly did. He sighs, says he'll call the driver, and hangs up. While I'm waiting, I start counting the money I have left. That's when I realize I'm missing 2 20s. That's when everything clicks. The driver definitely noticed once he got to his car. A few minutes later, he comes back with the correct pizza. No apology. No explanation. Just hands it to me like I'm the inconvenience here. I ask him calmly if I accidentally tipped him too much. He looks me straight in the face and says, "No, you gave me $8. I tell him I'm missing 2 20s. He repeats himself. At this point, I know he's lying, but I just want my food. I grab the pizza and ask for my drink. As I'm turning around to go inside, I hear him mutter under his breath, "Stupid little brat." I turn around and ask him what he said. He denies it, then immediately follows it up by saying I'm being a brat. Now I'm heated. I tell him he lied about the money, messed up my order, and now he's insulting me. He says money doesn't make me a good person, which is wild considering he just admitted he lied about taking mine. Before everything fully went sideways, there was this weird pause in the situation that stuck with me more than the argument itself. I remember standing there with the pizza box in my hands, knowing I'd been lied to, but also realizing how powerless I actually was in that moment. I was 14. This guy was a grown adult. And even though I knew I was right, none of that really mattered. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't threatening him. I was just asking questions and trying to understand why someone would do something like that over such a small amount of money. And what really messed with me was how comfortable he was lying straight to my face. No hosetaschen. No jump, just confident denial. Like if he said it enough times, reality would bend around him. That was honestly one of the first times I realized how weird adults can be when they feel like they have even a tiny bit of leverage over you. It wasn't about the pizza anymore. It wasn't even about the money. It was about control. He knew I was a kid. He knew I didn't have any real authority in that moment. And instead of just fixing the mistake and moving on, he leaned into it. Almost like he enjoyed watching me try to navigate a situation I wasn't equipped for yet. That feeling where you know something is wrong, but you don't have the language or the power to shut it down, that sticks with you. I remember thinking, is this just how things work? Like, do you just get screwed sometimes and that's it? No equality, no accountability. Just someone bigger or older deciding they're done caring. And the more I stood there thinking about it, the more it stopped being about anger and turned into this really uncomfortable awareness. I wasn't scared yet, but I definitely felt cornered. That's the part people don't talk about. How fast a normal situation can flip once someone decides they don't respect you anymore. And that's exactly when things started getting genuinely tense. At this point, the situation gets uncomfortable fast. He starts implying that if he wasn't working, things would be different, basically hinting at threatening a 14-year-old over pizza and a tip he stole. I tell him to just leave. He doesn't. He stands on my porch. I go inside and lock the door, but he's still there. I open a window and tell him again to leave. He says he's not leaving until I apologize. For what? I still don't know. So I go into my mom's room and grab this emergency pull cord alarm she gave me when I was younger. I don't even know why she owned multiple of these, but she did. I pull it. Instantly, the house is filled with the loudest, most unbearable alarm noise imaginable. Like an air horn having a panic attack. I open the door with this thing screaming and start yelling stranger danger at the top of my lungs. The guy completely panics. His eyes go wide. He doesn't say a word, and he bolts to his car and drives off immediately. The next day, I call the pizza place and explain everything. The manager is horrified. He makes the driver call me and apologize. The guy admits he lied, admits he was mad about something unrelated, and offers to give the money back. I tell him to keep it. The manager then gives me a coupon worth $150. At 14, that felt like winning the lottery. So yeah, that's the story of the psychotic pizza guy. If you like stories like this, that's what this channel is about. Real moments, bad decisions, and weird situations that somehow turn into stories later. Like and subscribe if you want more. I really appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one.